these kinds of biological disasters.
Okay, just one more comment I'd like to make is that it is 9 o'clock. I think the sense in the room is that we'd like to continue. You're more than welcome to leave whenever you'd like, but the gentlemen at the front are welcome to continue on, so we're just going to keep going for a while.
Very good. My name is Bob McCoubry. I'm a retired farmer and at one time worked for Bank Canada inspecting fruit at the packing house. And there were two things that you said, Joel, that need clarification. The first was, if I got you correctly, you said that Arctic apples that have punctures, scuffs, or bruises would not be kicked out of the system. Are the CAPS Act being changed to mean that if there's no browning under the skin or no browning in the cut, that they would be allowed in the regular stream? The second question is to do with labeling. I noticed that when you said that you would label your apples, that the slide you threw up just said Arctic apple. It didn't say GM or GE. So will you be labeling it so that consumers understand what they're buying?
Yeah, so first to address the first question, I mean, that would completely depend on the amount of damage. So if it's something like a very minor finger bruise, you wouldn't see any discoloration and it probably wouldn't be kicked out of the line. If it got smacked on the ground, it's still going to indent, you know, it's not made of steel or anything like that. It just wouldn't have the discoloration and the browning reaction. It would depend on, you know, the kind of packing line you have. Some of them use cameras. It would still be able to see, you know, a watermark if it was a really deep indent or if it was a cut on the apple. But by and large, there would be far less that are culled or downgraded. In terms of the labeling, as mentioned, yes, it will be an Arctic apple label. And what we're hoping to do is have point-of-sale materials such as brochures so that people can find out the exact method that we use to silence the genes. So, you know, to have a general GMO label, you know, you could do all sorts of things with GMO. You know, you could have different species. You could have 10 new proteins in one. Ours has no new proteins. We use gene silencing. We use apple genes. We want people to know exactly what our specific product is. We're also hoping to do things like have a QR code so that people can go directly to our website. So we want people to learn about our product, not just know about the production method.
Okay, I've identified three people. There's a young man at the back, there's a young man here, and a young man over there. Just the young man, so just let's... Okay.
Oh, yeah, hi. My name is Tony, not Peter. I'm a local physician, and I guess you know, my concern is that the correlation studies are kind of just you know, and the reality is it's okay to say it's safe. I mean, I'm not pro or anti-GMO, but the reality is we just don't have that information to be able to guarantee people whether it's safe or not. And you know, a lot of the information out there is retrospective, and we really don't have any prospective studies on what the impact is going to be on people in years to come. And unfortunately, from one of the slides you showed, I think that most of that information is probably going to be coming from Africa when, you know, we 20 years from now have the opportunity to see what the impact might have been. I look young. I've been practicing medicine 29 years, and you know, we really kind of, I sort of see the same thing play out when we were dealing with the cigarette industry and, you know, having discussions on whether or not cigarette smoking, you know, was really caused cancer. And we had the same things about, you know, there wasn't anything to show that it was actually carcinogenic. In fact, if you look in the 50s, you actually had